Okay, hey guys, it is Sunday night power planning and it is already May 3rd. It's our first power planning for May. So you guys know I love a new month. I get super excited. There's Sandra Delbeck. She just became a grandma again today. Happy baby day, Sandra D. She's the cutest little, she's tiny. She's like 5 pounds and something. She's the tiniest baby I've ever, that I know of, minus like a preemie. So we have a lot to do tonight. Before we get started, I'm going to actually give you some I ams that I stole off of the interwebs today, just to get your mind going. So you can steal these I ams, you can be inspired by them if you want, or you can just go with your own I ams. But I want you to think about not just, today's almost over. So I want you to think about like the I ams you're taking into the whole week. So some that I have here that I stole. I am perfect and whole while focused on growing. And there's such a discussion about that. There's the whole I am enough movement. And I do agree that we are all enough as we are, but I don't think that means we need to stop trying to be a better version of ourselves. So I like the way that one was worded. I am perfect and whole while focused on growing. Number 2, I have all the tools I need to achieve my goals. And you guys, you do. If you're on this Zoom, that means you're under the Susan Kaufman line, and that means you've got plenty of support. So you have more than the tools that you need, and like as far as your team goes. But then on top of that, you're a Le-Vel brand promoter. You have all the support from Le-Vel. You have an amazing website that you got for free. You have the Facebook page. You have the Instagram. You've got the magazines. You've got the YouTube. You name it. You've got anything you need. Number 3, and this is a good one for us. Are you ready? Every rejection brings me closer to my next sale. And you'll hear that time and time again, go for the no, blah, 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 however people word it. But you just have to remember that, no might mean not now. But if somebody gave you a bucket and they said, okay, in this bucket, there's 50 no's, but there's 2 yeses, you would dig through that whole bucket till you found those 2 yeses. And that's what we do. Every day, we're just digging through a bucket. And every time we pull out a no, we know that means we are one less step away from finding the yes. So when you get a no, it's okay. Just keep digging through your bucket. Number 4, every day in every way, my revenue keeps growing and growing. And again, I like that one because I always used to say every day in every way I'm getting a little better. That's just like a little song that I don't know why, but I sing that in my head. Every day in every way I'm getting a little better. So this one says every day in every way, my revenues keep growing and growing. So literally every day in every way. So maybe today's the day you got a new customer. Maybe tomorrow is the day you get a trial pack person. Or maybe Tuesday is the day that somebody reaches out to you about Thrive Skin. And maybe you've been trying to talk to them about, nutrition this whole time. So every day there's something, and you have so many ways through Le-Vel, whether it's, somebody who just wants to have a pro bar and a pre-workout. Maybe somebody wants all 3 steps. Maybe somebody just wants some hand cream. Like, you have so many ways to increase your revenue. Number 5, I am attracting all the people, circumstances, and events that I need to succeed. Let me say that again because I got tongue-tied. I am attracting all the people, circumstances, and events I need to succeed. You have to understand that, and you have to believe that. Everything you do every day is either attracting or repelling. Everybody either smells good to you or they stink, and it's the same thing for them with you. So you're either bringing people towards you or you're pushing them away. And if you wake up and think, nobody wants to buy my Thrive, I'm not going to sell anything today, you are damn straight right. But if you wake up every day and you say, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to talk to as many people as I can, I'm going to do my job as a promoter, and that just means to talk, then you're going to be set. So those are just 5 that I wanted to throw out there in case you guys are feeling stale. Sometimes I feel a little stale with my I ams, and I like to throw in a new one or mix it up a little bit. And I didn't realize when I was looking at this, I thought that these were ways to start off I ams to get your brain thinking. Turns out it was part of a poem. But anyway, if you are ever trying to think of some different, it's very easy to say I am, but sometimes it's good to think outside of the I am. Sorry, my phone was dinging. So if you want to say something besides I am, you could say each day I live blank. So each day I live, how do you live? What do you do? Right? What do you believe in? What do you spend your time doing? The best version of me would ... So you can think about your I ams a little bit differently, like take them a little deeper. My finest day would include ... Okay, so those are just some ways to kind of get your brain thinking, keeping things fresh. All right, keeping things fresh. All right, so we're going to move into some thoughts and some activities for the upcoming week. And, you know, from the very first day I became a promoter, I didn't know what to do. And I found that I used to have it. I don't have it on my desk anymore. I found that little calendar challenge that Susan did forever ago. And I was like, well, that I can do that. That's like a checklist. I love a checklist. So that's what I printed up and that's what I did. And that has evolved over the years. And as you all know, we are now currently using the 5-4-3-2-1. Well, in the last month or two, I've discovered that the 5-4-3-2-1, it's good for me, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of a crutch at the same time, because if I sent out 5 messages, I'd move on with my life. Whereas now in reality, I just have a big old notebook and I'm just 30 to 40 messages a day. Like, why stop at 5 kind of thing, right? So what I've been trying to do, and I'm not encouraging that you do this, if the 5-4-3-2-1 is pushing you and that's getting you where you want to go, stick with it. You already have what I'm going to talk about. But I think every day it's good to have your blank checklist. And I think it's good for you to reevaluate what that list should include. So if you're finding yourself with your 5-4-3-2-1 and there's just names everywhere outside of the 5 spots, that's fantastic. But I would almost rather just have a blank sheet of paper where I know I can fit 30 to 40 names. So basically what I'm getting at is at the beginning of every single day, having a blank checklist, or rewrite your checklist. I prefer to just have a master and make copies of it for time's sake. But is it redundant to have the same list to stare at every single day? Yes, it's redundant. Does it create consistency and does it create growth in your business? Yes. So I want you to really think about this upcoming week, this upcoming month. Is 5-4-3-2-1, is it a crutch for you? Are you getting through your 5, your 4, your 3, your 2, and your 1, and you're like, oh, busy, I got to go do stuff, when you could be doing 40, 30, whatever it is that your business, that you want your business to grow. And so I want you to reevaluate your daily to-dos, basically. Some things I want you to think about when you're putting yours together: self-development. You guys, when people talk about attraction marketing, everyone thinks it means there's some magical script or there's some magical photo. It's not. It's being the person that you are that attracts people to you. So obviously, the more you develop yourself, develop your brain, your heart, your mind, you're going to attract more people to you. So self-development is super important. And it means so many different things to so many people. It could be reading a book. It could be reading the Bible. It could be moving your body. It could be learning a new skill. Whatever it is, you've got to put some of that in your day for you to self-development. So make sure you have that on your list. I have found the consistency of doing a story on my Facebook and Instagram first thing in the morning, just focused on my Thrive business, has been so good because I get it done first thing. Like literally, I mean, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? You take your Thrive. So now, like, as I take my capsules, I'm like, ding, I need to do a story about Thrive. So I will try to do 1, 2, 3, maybe, I guess, shots, stories, whatever you want to call them, just about my business, just about either a product that I love that I might be taking. Maybe I know I've got a busy day, so I'm packing and activate. That's something I would have said back when I had a job. Now I'm just at home. I don't have a busy day. Anyway, but something that I've learned from Kayla, and I see it happening with a lot of people, is you got to show your face in your stories. And sometimes it's awkward because you might have bedhead. Where is Lindsay? Your story this morning, I died. I was like, I love her even more now because she has got the wildest hair sticking up. Her eyeliner was a little askew, and she was just like, hey, everybody, it's me. Good morning. We had a long night and we're headed home. And I loved it because that's what people go to stories for. They want to know you. If you show up on your stories all the time looking perfect, well, then they don't probably know the real you, right? So make sure you're showing your face in your stories. Talk, like, when I say showcase a product, it could be as simple as you might be holding something. Maybe you're taking something. Maybe your DFT is on. But I think it's important to showcase the products that you personally use. So if you're doing an Activate in the afternoon, show that. If you're doing a rest gel at night, show that. If you take men's capsules instead of women's, show that. If you only love strawberry shakes and you think the rest are gross, talk about it, because somebody else out there is going to think the same thing. But I think it's okay to, if you only do the 3 steps, then just show the 3 steps. It's okay to just focus on what you have. But do remember that all those plus line products, while I don't necessarily think you want to muddy the water, you need to let people know that there are other things. Like I did a story one morning and I just threw in a graphic off of Facebook that Lavelle had put out a while back of the birthday cake pro bars. And a girl who was on the 3 steps and had been on the 3 steps messaged me. She's like, what are these? I didn't know these existed. So, had I not put that out there, she ended up ordering 2 boxes because she didn't even know they existed. So I think a lot of times we forget that we know Lavelle, we know the catalog, we are excited about the products, we know when something's coming out new, we know what it does. People don't. People have no clue. So the more we show, the more they're going to learn. All right, so that's your stories in your morning. Being brave, showing your face. Oh yeah, Sandra says she had to. So since Ainsley was having the baby today, Sandra had the other baby, Grant. And Grant has gone in and out of the doggy door of the home 5 times. So Sandra, I don't know what she needs. Probably just straight up vodka at this point. I don't even know if Thrive is going to help this situation. But thank God you Thrive. Like I was actually reading your text to Tom this morning about how you're like, I only had 4 hours of sleep and Grant's went out the doggy door. He goes, tell her to try that Thrive stuff. So he was being a smarty pants. All right, so after you've done your stories in the morning and your self-development, I think it's just best to dive on in. I actually was reading an article earlier today where it said a lot of salespeople will kind of hem-haw around in the morning and check messages and work on graphics and tidy up their desk, and they won't actually start reaching out to customers until 10 o'clock. But the trick is, if eat the frog, right? Like you're probably worried about sending messages, you don't want to do it. But the other trick is when you're sending out messages at 10 o'clock, guess who else is sending out messages at 10 o'clock? Your competition. So if you get in the inbox earlier and you're top of the mind and you're Johnny on the spot, not only do you get to mark that off your list first, but you got there first. And I think that's a really good point. Like sometimes we will find other things to do to stay busy versus actually doing the work. And so just diving right in first thing. So what does that mean? Happy birthday messages, obviously, right? Happy friend-versary messages. Engaging on your platform. So remember, engaging doesn't mean just hitting the like button or the love button. It actually means to engage. Make a comment, end with a question. Gosh, your kids are so cute. Okay, well, if you end it there, they're gonna be like, yeah, I know, thanks. How old are they now? Then they have to respond. Like actually do something so you get engagement with people. Do all of your reach outs. Do all of your direct messaging. Do your conscious comments constantly in your groups, on your Facebook, with your friends. Like I told you guys, I think a couple weeks ago, I will actually go to my friends list and I will right click on that person's name so that I open them in another tab. And once I have probably 15 or 20 tabs open, then I will go to each person and look really quick what they do this weekend, send them a message. Look really quick what they do, send them a message. That way I have it's all in front of me and I can be very quick with it. Once you've done all of that, then make your Facebook post. Because then, and only then, Facebook's like, oh, this person is like, or even Instagram, this person's on it. This person is engaging. This person is talking. Not that if you made a Facebook post raw first thing in the morning, you wouldn't get some engagement, but the people that you're going to get engagement from are people you talked to probably yesterday or the day before. So if you're going into your friends list and you're talking to people you haven't talked to in a week, a month, or whatever, they're going to start getting. So anyway, you guys all know how that works, but I just think sometimes it's important to remember to do the work before you do the post. All right. Every single day, obviously you guys need to be checking your messages, whether it's with the customers, your team, messages you sent out the day before. It's at that point that you're going to switch gears and you're going to go into follow-up. So that's the other thing that I like to do, like my reach out in the morning, like early, first thing, make that post, and then do my follow-ups, because you guys probably know this, maybe not, maybe I'm the only one. Sometimes I'll do a post and I'll sit there and be like, okay, who's going to comment? Who's going to ding? Did anybody hit the love button yet? It's been 3 whole seconds, right? So if I can take myself away from that and put myself into follow-up mode, then I can stay super busy. And then when I do finally go back, I'll have maybe some comments or something to work with. So remember, messages or like checking in, so check into your team page. I know I'm preaching to the choir, and this is like, you guys don't need this, but I'm just going to say this right now. When people send me a message and ask me a question about something that I have clearly made a post about 17 times on the team page, I have to bite my tongue and be very nice. So make sure you're checking on your team pages every day. And I will say, and Laura Wernsma will back me on this, Facebook is really goofy, and it's been really goofy for a couple months now. So Laura is actually an admin on our team page. She's getting absolutely and has not been getting any notifications. When I post something, when I share something, if I put an event for a Zoom, if I share a promo, she's not getting those. And I've noticed on, I think it's on Susan's team page, I'm not getting notifications. So I have to, it's on my list. I have to make sure I go in and scroll, because you might miss something. You might miss a promo. You might miss a phone call. You might miss an announcement. So just, again, if this was your job and you had a boss and they said, I want you to check the messages every day, you would log in and check the messages every day. So make sure you're checking on your team page to see what's going on in the world. And it doesn't mean get on there and scroll forever. Just scroll through. Is there anything new? Not good. Hop off. Also, make sure you're going through your groups every day. Make sure you're following up with anybody you have trial packs out with. And we're going to talk a lot about, I can't get onto Susan's Zoom when I see them pop up. Scrolling doesn't even work. Scrolling, where did it go? Oh, scrolling doesn't even work for me. I've had someone tag me on the live so I can find it. Oh, so you mean her planning Zooms? I unmuted you. Which Zooms?
Oh, the Monday night or Sunday night, whatever the team.
Oh, okay.
The Freedom Thrivers. I can never find it ever.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's just Facebook being goofy. So at least you're taking the time, but you know, because you have it on your calendar, so you're taking the time to reach out and get it. Susan, do you know? Is anybody else having that problem?
Remember this last Monday we didn't have it because
Right.
I did
Right,
Drew, and the Monday before something else conflicted with it, so we didn't have it. So in all honesty, it probably hasn't been on there for 2 weeks, but it should be 9:15 tomorrow night. It's a live on Facebook, so
Right.
about 9:15 you'll see me pop up.
Yeah, I can't find it when it pops up. So Sandra has been kind enough to tag me so that I can get on them.
Well, good. Well, that's teamwork, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. All right. So make sure you're checking in on your team pages. I also was reading some information, and this is something that I think if you are probably a 12K or higher, you might want to start thinking about having specific chat groups for anyone on your team that's in VIP, anyone on your team that's going for 4K, anyone on your team that's going for 12K. And obviously you're hopefully going to take those people out of the one group and move them to the next and move them to the next. The nice thing about that, and and adding new people in, the nice thing about having that kind of chat group, or maybe for you it'd be easier to have it as a Facebook, not to muddy the water, but if you already have, like, let's say you have a VIP group or chat, and on Monday night they have Susan has started the Monday night VIP mindset, right? So you could literally have those in there. So let's say somebody starts tomorrow and you put them in that chat. They've got tons of information already in there. If they have a question, they can ask. Everybody in that chat has that. So that's just something to kind of think about. If you ever feel like, I personally think it's hard to keep track of everyone. That's just how my brain works. So I'm going to look into doing something like that to kind of make sure that if someone's in VIP, whether they're my direct or, down so many levels, that they have a one spot source where they can go. I mean, obviously they have their upline chat with their upline and myself, but this way they have a place where they can ask questions. And it's just like on the team page, if one of you asks a question, well, all of you get the answer, right? So that's something I'm thinking about doing too, just to kind of help streamline the time that you spend on your team so you can be focused on your business. Follow-ups, carrying on with follow-ups. You guys, the PPA last month was insane. So whether you got 1, 12, or 85, all of those people deserve a thank you card. You know how I feel about that. There is no such thing as a spare customer. And if they ordered with you last month, whether they were new or existing, They deserve a thank you card. So tomorrow when you're like, I've done my 5 reach outs, now what do? Write some thank you cards. And no, you don't have their address at your hand unless you've already asked for it. It's okay. I find people are very excited to give you their mailing address. That everyone's just like, oh, they're sending me something. So just ask for the mailing address. Also, don't forget, like, because this is for me a little sometimes tricky. You know, your customer list generates very quickly. Don't forget if you sign new promoters, that's also someone really great to send a thank you card or a welcome gift or whatever. And I'm not talking about sending them a ton of stuff, but you know, a pack activate. I mean, it makes somebody's day. Also coming up this week, we have the first auto ship of the month. Remember, we talk about this all the time. You're not going to say, hey, your auto ship's coming out. Is that okay? Don't word it like that, because that'll give them time to think about it and they may not want it. You guys have so much you could talk about right now. Hey, your auto ship is coming out and I think this is the perfect time for you to add recharge. Have you heard about our new product yet? We have an amazing new product. Tom and I have both been wearing it every night before we go to bed and we're both sleeping great. Plus I'm a rest girl, but whatever. We both sleep really great and I feel great. And who in the world is not thinking about immunity right now, right? So you've got things that you can suggest to them. Go back through their orders. Have they ordered chocolate nonstop for 3 years? But hey, do you know that we have other flavors that you can try? I mean, they may love chocolate and they'd be like, no, the only thing I want is chocolate, but that's okay. Customer service, you let them know. Maybe they had no idea that we had apple pie or whatever would float their boat. So just make sure when you reach out about, you know, you're reminding them, because nobody wants to charge that they're not ready for, but you're not saying, hey, is it okay if we do it? Just like, I think now is a great time for you to switch the color of your DFT, switch the flavor of your shake, add a new product, yada, yada, yada. And I didn't write the whole thing down because Susan had it in hers, but basically if April wasn't their right month, maybe May is. So remember that. It's just like that bucket I talked about with 50 no's in it and 2 yeses. Those no's might have been for April, but you might be pulling those yeses out in May. So you got to remember, just because they told you no before doesn't mean you can't keep reaching out to these people. Now, something that I wanted to talk about, and while I'm talking about this, if you guys could start filling up the chat with your whatever you think you did in the month of April that changed your business. Okay? So you put in there 1 or 2 things that you think changed your business for you. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about something that I'm going to try to do, not try, there is no try, that I'm going to do in May to change my business. So there's a lot of videos out there. They're, you know, sample your way to 12K, sample your way to 200K, all the things. And they basically talk about either selling or, you know, promoting through trial packs. And obviously we have the 3-day trial packs through Lavelle that you can order. They ship them directly for you. You don't even touch anything. And then we also always have, you know, I've got product behind me. I can do trial packs. So I was listening to a video and one of the girls was saying that she basically took herself to 200K through doing trial packs. And somebody said, well, how did you do that? How did, you know, what did you do? And she said, every day in some way, I talked about or showed a trial pack, which in the moment when she says that, you're like, duh. But in reality, do you somehow? And so, you know, and it's like you spread the wealth. So if I talk about it on my Instagram story today, or maybe I don't talk about it tomorrow, maybe I'm just talking about something else while I'm packaging one up. Or there's always the classic photo that we all have where we're like, hey, go to the mailbox. But I have made it a goal, and I literally got on Instagram stories looking like this today because I was like, all right, self, we set a goal. Now you have to do it. To talk about trial packs, to talk about, you know, reaching out to people about 5 days or 3 days or, you know, and there's lots of ways to do this. You guys can do host to post, which means they'll probably get it for free. Last month, I just flat out, I stole it from Lindsay. I put the product on my desk and I just filmed it. And I talked about what went into my 5-day trial pack. And I said, by the way, right now I put out like an Activate, a Blast, and a Cafe. And I said, for, you know, as a freebie, you get to pick which drink you want me to throw in there. And I think I sold like 3 or 4 of them just from that video. So again, it's because you can't assume that people know you have products to trial. Obviously, I would much rather just get an order off the bat. And one person who did reach out to me about a trial ended up ordering a $400 promoter pack before it was all said and done. So it's possible. It could be the starter conversation. But I'm going to challenge you guys to pick one thing. And if you want it to be the trial pack with me, if you want to try that for the whole month of May, but I want you to pick one thing and I want you to somehow talk about it. And when I say talk about it, it could be a picture, it could be a story, it could, whatever. Excuse me. It's not the Rona, I promise. But I want you to talk about it every single day because like I always tell you, if you're not talking about your business, nobody else is. So now I'm just trying to be more specific. If I'm not talking about the fact that I have trial packs, nobody else is talking about that, right? Maybe you want to talk to people about the fact that you have Thrive Skin. Maybe you've never talked to anybody about the fact that you also have this whole other product line you could be talking about, right? So pick something. So I'm going to go through some of these chats though while we have time. Okay, Olivia says, I've been very consistent doing at least my capsules in the story every morning. It has for sure made a difference in your views. Lindsay says, watch mine in my hair today. My hair was a hot mess the other morning. The G in the doggy door. Oh, shoot. Okay, so Sandra says, tons more reach outs and customers who are willing to connect with me, connect with the people they wanted to share the product with. Several orders were referrals also. Folks coming back. Yes, we had a lot of people coming back. We even had old promoters coming back. And anytime you've ever gone and bought something outside of Thriveland, one of the first things that the person has most likely asked you, whether you remember it or not, they've either handed you their card and said, if you have a friend that needs a new washer, let them know I'm here. Or they've handed you a flyer and said, hey, if you wouldn't mind, tell a couple friends. Remember, every person you've sold to has friends and family. And that's what Sandra's talking about. Referral orders can build your business faster than you can because you don't know everybody. But if you know 10 people, those 10 people know 10 people. It's exponential. That's the beauty of this business. And again, tons more reach out. So, so Sandra, I'm going to suggest for you the 54321 is not big enough for you, right? You already know that going in. We've already talked about your goals for the month. 54321 is child's play for you at this point. So you guys think about that. Think how you want to grow. Courtney says, my essential employee post was huge. I mailed out over 25 trials. Mother's Day is coming. I'm going to offer gift sets for a promo. Yes, I agree. That essential employee, medical person, however the heck it goes, that was a great way for me to also to get some. I did a mix. Like if they were already a Thriver, I gave them a blast. But if they weren't, I sent out to them a 3-day trial and then, followed up. And a couple of them did actually turn into customers. And speaking of, I want to give a shout out to Lisa Cook because she did a post similar to that. And she has had a ton of people contact her about trial packs. And she and I had a conversation. And her rule is she gets their email, gets them signed up, and she puts them in a 3-way chat before she ever orders the product. And I don't even know how many chats we've been in, Lisa, but it's been fun. So keep doing it. Yeah, Lisa says more reach outs, follow up with the people that I have sent out trials. So if you look at those things that they did that they feel like brought their business to a different level last month, it all boils down to talking to more people. So she's not on here, so I won't say her name, but I had a promoter in her upline chat last week. She was killing it 2 weeks ago, like killing it to the point where I was like, I need to know what she is doing. And then, it's ebbs and flows. It's sales. That's the fun of this. And she was like, yeah, but I reached out to 8 people today and nothing. And I was like, well, reach out to 16 then. Reach out to 32. Like just because you reached out to 8 last week and you got your 5 customers, it's not, if it was that easy, wow, we would all sign me up, right? So just take whatever activity you've been doing, compare that to your paycheck, or compare it to your rank, or compare it to the bills you have that you want to pay. If you are happy where you are, then your activity is keeping you happy. But if you look at that and you say, you know what, I'm at this rank and I want to be here, or I want to pay off my car or whatever it is, what activity do you need to bump up to make that happen? TJ says, I've been doing 10 to 15. How is it going in the Rona? And bugging the heck out of these trials that seem to just disappear when they willingly send me info to mail them. Yes. And TJ, kudos to you too, because you put everybody in a 3-way chat also. So you definitely worked the same system. The nice thing about them being in that 3-way chat now is he's not they can't forget about TJ because he is still dinging them with information. He's still dinging them with how are you doing? You know, and there's always that classic, have I done something to offend you? Just Sandra uses that message and she gets such a good response from it. It's just a real quick, simple, have I done something to offend you? I think now more than ever, I mean, people always have life going on, but now more than ever, there are people fighting battles you know nothing about. There are people who live in amazing homes and communities that have fantastic jobs who are literally about to lose their house. So just because somebody doesn't reach back to you doesn't mean they don't want to eventually try it. It's like the last thing on their mind. So just a simple question like that, have I done something to offend you? They usually will write back right away. Oh my gosh, no, no, no. We were in the ER last night, or, you know, no, no, no. I had, you know, working doubles, whatever. So it just helps. It'll definitely get people talking. And it's a polite way of asking them. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, have I done something to offend you? But basically, you guys, all we talk about, I mean, I hope I've given you a ton of stuff to reach out about. Obviously, AutoShips is one you want to make sure you're on because that falls on Tuesday, right? Tuesday. That falls on Tuesday. It's all about talking to people. That's what you do. That's what your job is. Talk to people. Get them curious about what you do. Get them curious about a new flavor. Get them curious about a new product. Get them curious about how the heck you feel so good, or why is she up at 5 a.m. when the rest of us are, you know, blah, blah, whatever. Get them curious. And if you start sharing information with them and they still say no, that's okay. It's not their time. Next. Keep moving down that line. If you want to grow your business, you've got to dive into it. We talked last week on the team, on Dream Team's page, about what it means to go all in. When you have that confidence in yourself and in your product, it's just like if you're playing blackjack and you know for a fact you've got it, you push all your chips in. Well, when you're looking at your deck of cards as a promoter, you have everything you freaking need. Everything. You have the best product that's on the market. You have the best comp plan that's on the market. You have CEOs who will literally drop everything and hop on a Zoom right now to talk to people. You've got everything you need. So on the days you feel maybe less confident, it's okay, borrow it from somebody else. Call me. I'll talk in your ear. Doesn't bother me at all. Laura says, I feel like my energy is more positive, which attracts people. Asking lots of questions in my messages and follow-ups. Yes, and again, what you put out is what you're going to get back. And I'm not saying you can't be human and have a shitty day. I mean, hello, it's like a pandemic. Not even like, it is a pandemic. It's okay to have a bad day. Do what you have to do. If it's call your upline, great. If it's talk to your pastor, great. If it's cry in the corner for 10 minutes, great. Do what you have to do. But then remember, shine your light, because your light is what's going to bring people towards you. You're like a, what is it, like a lighthouse? Although that, I think that keeps people away now that they said that. Anyway. All right. So you guys, it boils down to, I know. I think my first goal for you this week, right now, before you guys before your heads hit the pillow tonight, think about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Does it need to be 30, 20, 3, 2, 1? Does it need to be 50, 23, whatever your number needs to be? You evaluate that. You come up with your new blank list. And again, don't get fancy, you guys. A pen and paper, it's really all you need in this job. A good venting session always helps. Yes, absolutely, for sure. So, you know, May is in front of you the entire month. I will give a shout out. This is just for Dream Team, but just to give everybody an idea, the last, not even solid 24 hours, because I did a live on the last day of the month in the morning, and by the time we closed out, you guys did $10,000 in one day. So don't tell me when you've still got 30 days in front of you that you can't reach your goals, because you totally can, like above and beyond, a million times over. All right. So with that, church is over. I hope you guys have a fabulous night. I'll see my team back here tomorrow night. And again, I think it's time to reevaluate your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think a lot of us are using it as a crutch when we could be doing so much more. So thank you. Bye.